The Chiefs out there trying to make NFL history, become the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls. And the Eagles, they just want revenge. Played these guys a couple years ago. First quarter, no score. Jalen Hurts wants to stop that. Jahan Dotson, right sideline. Who thought he was in? We did. Nope, down at the 1 after a gain of 27. Push that in for the score. Eagles on the board first. It's 7-0. Now into the second quarter, Chiefs down 10-0. Patrick Mahomes is trailed by 10 points in all 5 Super Bowl appearances that he has made. Chiefs came back to win 3 of those first 4. Here they are doing what the Eagles defense did so well in this game, sacking him. Josh Sweat, loss of 4. Pressure, name of the game. Mahomes feeling it again. Sweat was a problem. That man went down, did Mahomes 6 times. Next play on 3rd and 16 from their own 24. Mahomes passed this time, went from bad to worse. Picked off by Cooper DeJean, birthday boy, on his 22nd birthday, no less. And guess what? He wasn't happy with just the pick. That turned into a pick 6. And DeJean is the second rookie with a pick 6 in Super Bowl history. Said Mahomes, we didn't start the way we wanted to. You think? Eagles led 17-0. Then less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Mahomes picked off again. This time, Zach Bond, big play Bond, came up so big in the postseason for the Eagles. Watch the Eagles pass rush. The old lineman kind of gets in Mahomes' way, causes the bad pass, and then a little defense leads to offense for the Eagles. Hurts, A.J. Brown. That made it 24-0. And then, what did we see here? Caught on, what book is that? Inner Excellence, obviously. Next Chief drive, Mahomes. Gonna send that to DeAndre Hopkins. But is there like a slight trip there? Can't hold on to it, just goes through his fingers. Eagles led 24-0 at the half, which ties the second largest halftime lead in Super Bowl history. If you saw this coming, put your hand down because you lied. Third quarter, still 24-0. Eagles with a 1st and 10 from the KC 26. Hurts to Saquon Barkley. Maybe we should put this in top place. Maybe, just a thought. Bobbles it, made it anyway. 6 catches, 40 yards, plus 57 yards rushing. It led to a field goal and a 27-0 lead. Then, Hurts. You want to see pass perfection? How about this? On the money. Devontae Smith, a 46-yard score. 4 catches, 69 yards. That touchdown. At this point, I think we were like, yeah, this game's over. Eagles up 34-0. Then in the fourth quarter, it's down 37-6 are the Chiefs. Mahomes under pressure, and he would later take the blame for the turnovers. This is another one. Ball is out. Eagles have it. The third takeaway for the Eagles defense. Chiefs did tack on some junk points in the end, but this was really never a game. Hug it out. Nick Sirianni getting the Gatorade back. There was some real sneaky stuff happening there with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Barkley, Howie Roseman, the celebration. There's your Super Bowl MVP celebrating with his dad. Eagles win it 40-22.
We knew we had a special team. We knew we had a group of guys that could do some special things, but it was going to take day in, day out work. And so it was just putting your head down and working and saying, you know, how are we going to put ourselves in the best position to win that Cleveland game? And it wasn't like, hey, how are we going to get to 6-2? It was like, how are we going to win this game? Then it was going to be how we won the next game. It's boring, but it's truly just trying to get a little bit better each day. But that's the thing that you'll remember is the daily grind of and emptying the tank every single week, you know, to try to win each week. We just doubled down on the things we knew to be true. We knew we had special players. We knew we had special coaches. We knew we had special front office and special people in the building. And our goal was to do it together and just stick together and go.
Still processing it. You know, it's been a long journey. It's been a journey of ups and downs and highs and lows. And I've always stayed true to it in the end. And having this vision of just being the best that I can be. And that evolving over time into this desire and this flame inside to win. And you don't do great things without the guys around you.
Man, oh man. She looked prettier in person, I tell you that. You know, you think about it, it's better in person than it is in Madden, I tell you that, playing as a kid. But it's everything you dream of, and I'm just happy to be able to, you know, hold it, give it a kiss, and, you know, be world champs.
For the record, he's talking about the trophy,
Yes.
and that actually is adorable children. Like, think back to the way this season started for the Eagles. They started 2-2, and the sky was absolutely falling. Now you go forward, but 5 months later, Super Bowl champs, and defense made a huge difference. They created turnover after turnover, and in the end, Philly finished the season. They won 16 of their last 17 games. That is the most in a 17-game span in franchise history.
SportsCenter on the Road is presented by
We now welcome in ESPN football analyst Lou Riddick, who was there at the game in New Orleans. And look, we take a look at Philadelphia's road back to the Super Bowl, Lou. And remember, they got bounced last season in the wild card round after losing the year before to the Chiefs. And then there were questions about Nick Sirianni and his future there in Philadelphia. And then all of a sudden, they cap off a 14-win regular season with a second Lombardi trophy for that franchise. How did Philadelphia completely flip the script on what that narrative was?
I think starting with head coach Nick Sirianni, there was a lot of emotional growth and professional growth during the course of the season. Obviously, remember the first quarter of the season, there were many people in the Philadelphia area who wanted him run out of town because they didn't think that he was emotionally mature enough to really kind of like take this football team, as talented as it was, and mold it into a championship-style unit. And they had all the pieces there. Look, in the offseason, they went to work. The offensive line is solid. The wide receivers are solid. They make one of the biggest free agent acquisitions maybe in the history of professional football with Saquon Barkley. And you see what he does and how it really kind of rounds out that offense. Defensively, they changed the defensive coordinator. Vic Fangio comes in. They nail a bunch of draft picks. Back in the secondary, Jalen Carter becomes a monster. And next thing you know, it all starts to come together as the season goes along. And it's capped off here by Jalen Hurts going, hey, look, you thought if they put it on my shoulders, I wouldn't be able to handle responsibility? How's an MVP for you? That's a pretty good story.
Somebody else who's changed the narrative.
Yeah, seriously. All right, sit by real quick here, Lou. So I want to get your take on the Chiefs side of this thing, too. And that's because it was not a good night for the two-time defending champs. Their quest for the first-ever Super Bowl three-peat crashed out in blowout fashion. And let's be real, that 40-22 final score, far from indicative of how the Eagles manhandled a Patrick Mahomes-led team looking to fortify ese dynasty.
Anytime you lose a Super Bowl, it's the worst feeling in the world. They'll stick with you the rest of your career. I mean, these will be the two losses that will motivate me to be even better for the rest of my career, because you only get so few of these, and you have to capitalize on these, and they hurt probably more than the wins feel good. We have a great football team. We still have a young football team, and a lot of these guys will be their first time having a defeat in a season. And how can you get better? How can you not be satisfied with just getting here and taking your game to the next level? And that starts with me and the other leaders on this team, but it'll feed throughout the entire team, and hopefully we can come back next season and put up a better effort.
Couldn't get it going offensively. I mean, they just got after us on all three phases, and then on top of that, you know, turnovers, penalties, playing behind the sticks on offense is just drop passes, not taking advantage of, you know, the play call and executing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. You don't lose like that without everything going bad.
Listen, they all hurt. You get this far. You battled your tail off to get this far. Very, very hard to do. And you know, it's we spent a lot of time doing this, and it's not a hobby, right? So we're in it the whole way, and spent a lot of hours doing it as players, as coaches. So it's going to hurt. They all hurt when you get to this level, and these things happen. Three-peat aside or any of that stuff, that you get this far and you don't play as well as you want to, it hurts.
Statistically, this was one of Patrick Mahomes' worst games of his career. 11.4 QBR in this loss, the second lowest QBR in his career. Only worst performance, Week 7 back in the 2021 season on the road against the Titans.
We told Lewis not to go far here. So obviously the Chiefs, they fall short of not just winning their third straight Super Bowl, but that shot at NFL history as well. And the way that this one all went down, how does that impact your view of what Kansas City was trying to do?
Well, it impacts it really in this way. Look, they ran into a better football team tonight, a team that was bigger, stronger, faster, especially on the line of scrimmage. And there's no answer for that. So, look, despite the fact that they lost 2 games this year, really they lost 1 because the last game of the season they lost against Denver doesn't really count. That doesn't take away from the fact that they had a tremendous season. But Kansas City's now judged by championships, and now they see who they're chasing, and they see what they need in order to make sure that they don't get run out of a stadium like they did tonight by a bigger, stronger, faster football team. So I think right away, Brett Veach, the general manager, is going to start pushing forward and looking ahead and going, I need to address the things that prevented us from having a three-peat. I need to get better on the offensive line. I need to find some tackles. I need to make sure I have more corners in the back end, and I need to make sure that I have more depth on our defensive line so we can send people in waves at pass rushers like they sent at my $500 million quarterback tonight. And I think he'll get to work on that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this is a very good football team, and they will be back.
Yeah, because that $500 million quarterback was sacked 6 times, and he was pressured a ton. Louis Riddick.
That's right.
NFL's 2 best teams are about to collide. Hurts, he's sneaked, he's pushed, and he's in. Touchdown. Back goes Mahomes. He's looking. It's intercepted. Down the short side is the Gene. It's in for a touchdown. Happy birthday, kid. Mahomes is back. He fires over the middle, and it's intercepted again. And the Eagles are in scoring position again. He's looking. He fires. He completes it. Touchdown.
This offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs flat out cannot block through the Eagles' pressure.
Having this vision of just being the best that I can be, and that evolving over time into this desire and this flame, desire to win.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59.
Feels like a party. And
oh,
look,
boy.
For a while there, it felt like the entire city of Philadelphia was outside Sunday night. Fans taking to the streets to celebrate the team's second ever Super Bowl title. And by the looks of it, there's no telling when this party might actually wrap up. I mean, it could roll into the parade later this week. I mean, it is Philly after all.
Mm-hmm. Tim Hasselbeck joins us now, and I think it would be silly for us to be totally shocked by what the Eagles defense did in this game because they're the best in the NFL. But how exactly did they do to Patrick Mahomes what they did to Mahomes?
Yeah, you know what's interesting, they just won up front, won individual matchups up front. Sometimes when a defense is dominant, it's because they're blitzing protections or they're timing up calls. But really, it was just about the guys up front winning individual matchups. Here's a good one. At the top of the screen is Josh Sweat. He's got Travis Kelce trying to protect on him with Isaiah Pacheco there to help. And he just wins so quickly, and it forces Mahomes to kind of walk into a sack as he climbs up into the pocket. And it's basically the story of the night. Backed up once again, it's Sweat at the bottom of the screen going against Joe Thuney, who's been moved to tackle. It's been talked about leading up to the Super Bowl, and Thuney just gets bull rushed right back into his lap. A little bit surprised Mahomes comes off of Kelce, but probably because of the static in front of him, and then he gets hit as he throws, which obviously leads to an interception. You know, you just think about some of the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. It's, you know, adjusting protections. It's seeing a blitz before it comes. It's making you pay when you come after him. But when you're just winning up front with a 4-man rush, kind of takes away some of the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and kind of eliminates what you want to do as an offense. That's clearly what happened tonight.
Just pressured all the time. On the other side of things, you have the now Super Bowl MVP in Jalen Hurts. How was he able to do what he did with the Eagles offense?
I thought he played with so much poise. You know, obviously one mistake early in the football game on a blitz where he leaves the ball inside. Outside of that, thought he was excellent. Thought he was accurate. Thought he handled, you know, the situations of the game extremely well. You know, it's different playing quarterback when you're behind or when it's a tie football game versus when you're ahead. Obviously, with the flow of the football game, you know, he did an excellent job of kind of knowing how to play. And so I say that to say, you think of some of the big runs we saw in the second half of this game, a couple of them on third downs. I thought he just did an excellent job managing the game. And then when it called for him to make a play in the passing game, he did an amazing job escaping there. Obviously, the big shot down the field to Devontae Smith for a touchdown. So, look, the story will end up being the defense, but certainly Jalen Hurts, you know, had an amazing performance in a Super Bowl to win it.
Yeah, that Smith pass was right on the money. As are you. Thank you, Tim Hasselbeck.
I mean, the story of Jalen Hurts, I mean, really has to go back to college. Actually, even coming out of high school before he got to Alabama, there were doubts about what he could be at that level. And how about the 2018 National Championship game? He got benched in that game against Georgia, only to see Tua Tagovailoa come in and lead Bama to the championship 26-23.
And then the next season, he was still on the Alabama roster. They faced Georgia again in the SEC title game, but this time a slight role reversal because Tua got hurt in the fourth. So Hurts then came in, led the way, eventually scored the game-winning rushing